You can do everything in your power to try to protect your children, protect your child, or whatever. And some children, they will still find a way to defy you while defiling themselves. You know what I'm saying? As I'm reading through these comments still from that Unfiltered Stories interview I did. So I'm looking at the comments and I'm just like, man, some people are saying some crazy stuff about my parents, especially like, oh, well, they failed her and this and this and that and that and that and this. Like I said, you can do everything within your power. My mom had me in an abstinence program. I was in an abstinence program at the park, at Child's Park. And those men, they would come over to the park. They knew that I was in the class. And they would tap on the window. They would tap on the window. They would also come in and they'll tap on the door because before they remodeled Child's Park in like the actual recreation center, and you could see the window. There was a window that was in the door. And then they also had it was a glass window, but that's not there anymore. But when you go inside, there was a door that had a glass panel or whatever, like a window. And they would come in, they would look in there, grown men. And I was in an abstinence program during this time. Yeah, I shouldn't have went out there. I knew I wasn't supposed to be out there. That's why I was sneaking out. Now, if I just was like, all right, mama, I'm about to go and I'm going out, like, come on now. I knew what I was doing, but those men, those grown men, 18, 19, 20, some of them maybe 30 and 40 years old, they knew that I was 14. I told them that I was 14. But anyway, and then you don't sneak into a grown woman's window unless, maybe that's what you and your husband do. Y'all like to role play and he the burglar or something. I don't know. I don't know. But you can do everything in your power. And some way, somehow, your child can still do things to defy you. My parents had me in an abstinence program. I was playing basketball. I was overseeing other youth programs. I was a youth usher. I did a lot of stuff in the daytime. I excelled in school. I did very well. But I would sneak out. That's why I felt like it was a power. It was a spirit stronger than me. Going out there and seeing when you've been touched, right? When you've been sexually assaulted, sexually abused, molested, or anything like that, especially as a child, sometimes even as an adult, there's you have this sign on your head that says, touch me, abuse me, rape me, whatever it is. And it's I heard somebody said that spirit of perversion, right? It's like a scent. It's a scent that's like an alluring scent. Because ain't no way, come on now. If grown men have been pursuing me since I was 3. And then, I had a situation with a guy. I was 13. He was 19. When we talked recently, he claimed he thought that I was much older, blah, 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 bunch of BS. I told him that I forgave him, but then it was a big mess, right? I shouldn't have reached out to him in the first place. Bless him. Okay. However, that is what sent me, that was like the straw for me to say, you know what? I'm going to go get a boyfriend. I'm going to get a boyfriend. And then it was like, boom. Had sex with the first guy. That was my very first time. And then boom, another guy. Boom, another guy. That night, 5 guys. And then the crowd grew larger the nights that I would come out. And then if they didn't see me, they would come find me at my abstinence program. So again, you can do everything in your power. I would say the only thing maybe my parents could have done, maybe they could have slept in the room with me. Maybe they could have slept in the room with me in my bed and it wouldn't have happened. Maybe my parents could have went with me to school. Then maybe none of that would have happened. Going with me to every single class. So y'all just be mindful. I share my story to bring awareness, because again, you could be thinking, "Oh, well, I'm the best parent in the whole wide world." And something can still happen to your child.